Hello student. In previous video we have seen about the introduction of this chapter, that what is the reproduction, and in that we will see we have seen that types of the reproduction, in that asexual reproduction and some of the topic, and in that the mode of asexual reproduction we have seen about the fission, in that two parts, binary fission and the multiple fission. Binary fissions example amoeba, multiple fissions leishmania. Then after we have seen about the fragmentation, that generally seen in the Spirogyra. Then after we see the next type, that is of regeneration, and in that the example planaria and the hydra. Then we see the budding. In the hydra, the other type mode of mode of reproduction, that is budding. And at the last we have seen about the vegetative propagation, means some of the plants can able to develop into the new plants, that's called the vegetative parts. So by the vegetative propagation, in that we have seen root, stem and the leaves. So by the root, the example is the dahlia, sweet potatoes, and by the stem, the potato, ginger, and by the leaves, the bryophyllum is the example. Now in this video we will see about the artificial method in a vegetative propagation. So there are mainly four methods by which we can done the vegetative propagation. The first method, that is of grafting, and the example of the grafting method, that is of mango. The second artificial method in a vegetative propagation, that is of cutting, and the example of the cutting type of method, that is of rose. The third type of artificial method of the vegetative propagation, that is of a layering, and the example of the layering method, that is of jasmine. And at the last, that is of tissue culture. In tissue culture, the new plants are grown by using a growing tip of the plant. Means we can artificially provide a nutrition, and by the vegetative parts, or you can say the growing parts, we cut it down and we culture it into the artificial lab by the providing a nutrition, and then after we are adding the growth promoters like enzyme, and after the some of the growth of the parts we will transfer it into the soil. So that kind of method comes under to the tissue culture. So in the artificial methods in a vegetative propagation, there are four types. The first one, that is of grafting method. In the grafting methods example, mango. The second one, that is of cutting method, and the example of the cutting method, that is of rose. The third example, that is of layering, and the example of layering method, that is of jasmine. The fourth one, that is of a tissue culture. The new plants are grown by the using a growing tip of the plant. Now see this growing cell, what exactly happened in the tissue culture. So this growing cell are kept in a culture medium, as I told you, that nutrient medium, and which is leads to a formation of a callus. And this callus is then transferred to the hormone medium, which cause the growth and the differentiate. The callus means it's a group of the cell which is differentiate and make a primitive parts of the body. So after the growing that primitive part of the body, this callus is transferred into the hormone medium where the growth hormone generally is used, so the plant can be easily grow. And after the growth, or you can say after the grow and the differentiation, it is transferred at the soil, so it can then converted into the plant. And by the tissue culture method, most of the plants can be cultured, but the example that is of ornamental plants like orchid can be cultured by the tissue culture. Now let's see the benefits of the culture. Before we start it, let's talk about some of the method. In the grafting method, and the layering method. In the layering method, we have to take the one branches of the plants and dig into the soil, so it grow as an individual plant. In the cutting means at the any parts of the rose stem, but where the node is there, so cut that portion and dig into the soil, so it can be grow into the root and the stem. And the grafting method, there is the stalk and the scion that we will study further in detail later on, and the tissue culture that I already explained. Now the next important point that is of beneficial, or you can say the why the tissue culture is considered as a beneficial method, or the benefits of the tissue culture. Then we can grow a plant like a banana, rose, jasmine, etc. that have lost the capacity to produce seed. Have you ever seen the seed of the banana, rose, jasmine? No, because it is a lost their capacity to produce the seed. So in that kind of case, this tissue culture is very useful. The second point, that is a new plant are generally similar to the parent, means it is a copy one. Whatever the character we require from the parent to the next offspring, so that copy character we can culture by the tissue culture. The second and the third, that it helps in a growing a seedless fruit. As we talked that the banana, which is a seedless fruit, which does not contain the seed. So in that kind of case, this tissue culture is very useful. Now let's see the next type of asexual mode of reproduction, that is of spore formation. Spore means what? Spore are the small bulb-like structure. Here you can see. This is called the spore. Spore is a bulb-like structure which are covered by the thick wall. This spore is covered by this wall-like structure, means the thick wall. And what is this function of this thick wall? This thick wall protect the spore. Whenever the under a favorable condition, means the whenever this rhizopus or whenever this spore are comes under to the favorable condition, at that time it start to germinate, means this wall is broken down and this spore has become a germinate, and then it is able to produce the new organism. So this kind of mode of reproduction called the spore formation. In the spore formation, the spores are means the small bulb-like structure which are covered by a thick wall under the favorable condition, means the when the required atmosphere came, at that time it is able to germinate, and this after germinate it is produce a new organism. And the example of the spore formation, that is of rhizopus. Here you can see the structure of the rhizopus, and this tip portion, the bulb-like structure, this bulb-like structure is called the spore. Now, till now we see about the asexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, we have seen many types of mode, in that fission, in that binary fission, multiple fission, fragmentation, regeneration, budding, spore formation, etc. And in the plant, we see about the vegetative propagation. So these all the things comes under to this asexual mode of reproduction. Now the next part, that is of sexual reproduction. Now, when the reproduction takes place as a result of the fusion of male and the female gametes, then it's called the sexual reproduction. When a reproduction takes place as a result of fusion of male and the female gametes, then it's called the sexual reproduction. What happens in asexual reproduction? In the asexual reproduction, only a one parent take part in the procedure. But in the sexual reproduction, it requires a male and the female. So both the male and the female, they produce their sex cell, means it's called the gametes, and then it is fused and the reproduction occurs. So this kind of reproduction is called the sexual reproduction. When the reproduction takes place as a result of the fusion of male and the female gametes, is called a sexual reproduction. Now the next terminology, that is of a fertilization. What is the meaning of fertilization? Here we see in the definition of the sexual reproduction, that in the sexual reproduction, the fusion of the male and the female gamete. Now the gamete is nothing but it is called the sex cell. Gametes means the male sex cell and the female sex cell. If the male sex cell and the female sex cell means the gametes, if the gamete it is fused with each other, then that process is known as a fertilization. So after the fertilization, the zygote is formed. The zygote is contain both the characteristic, means the male gamete's character as well as the female gamete characteristic. That's the reason in the sexual reproduction, the chance of the variation is very high as compared to the asexual reproduction. Let's revise sexual reproduction. Then the reproduction takes place as a result of the fusion of the male and the female gametes, is called the sexual reproduction. While the fertilization means a fusion of gametes is called a fertilization, which results in a variation. Now let's see the first one, means the sexual reproduction in the plant. And the sexual reproduction in plant generally occur in a flowering plant. And the main organ of the reproductive parts, you can say, in the plant, that is a flower. So the flower are a reproductive organ of the plant. If asked, dash are the reproductive organ of the plant, then the answer is flower. Flowers are the reproductive organ of the plant. So which kind of things flower contains? A typical flower consists of 4 main whorls, namely sepals, petals, stamen and pistil. So the flower contains mainly 4 parts called the sepals, petals, stamen and pistil. Now let's see the types of the flower. The flower can be classified according to its structure into the 2 types. One that is of bisexual flower and another one that is of unisexual flower. Now let's see the first one, that is of bisexual flower. The bisexual flower means both, means the male and the female reproductive parts are the present. A flower in such a flower in that So both the reproductive parts, mean the male and the female, both are the present. So that kind of flower we consider as a bisexual flower. Both male and the female reproductive parts are present is called the bisexual flower. For example of the bisexual flower, that is of hibiscus and mustard. The second one, that is a unicellular flower. Unicellular flower means only one reproductive part is present, means either the male is present or either the female reproductive part is present. Means a flower in that if the male reproductive part is only present, then that flower is considered as a unisexual flower. The another one, that is if in the flower only female reproductive parts is present, then even it's considered as a unisexual flower. Means from the both the case, if the from the two, male or female, any one reproductive part only present in the flower, then we consider it as a unisexual flower. Let's take an example.